Kate, we both wore black today. What is that about?
You know what? This is actually brown.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see. Well, I'm wearing black lace for those of you who are not watching this on YouTube because we probably haven't uploaded it yet.
Welcome back to the podcast. We are actually looking like we're going to a funeral today.
We are this original concept for this podcast was type A meets type B, and now it's more like type B meets the newest member of type B, Emily Joy Amick.
Type B, this is what I'm saying about type B, guys. It always wins out. And there so many of my type A friends, when they do type B shit, they're like, oh my God, this feels so nice. Is this how you've been living your life?
No, it doesn't feel nice. I don't like it, just to be clear.
Everything always works out.
False.
You wish we were more prepared. Emily would like a 3-page single-spaced preparation doc for every episode.
No,
I literally every time.
I like 1.15 spacing, Kate. Thank you.
Okay, still though. And I, before every episode, send her one of my notes in my phone. Not even the same one every time, which I also could do. No. A new note that has like 4 random thoughts jotted down.
No, it's fine. I was on Strict Scrutiny last week. I co-hosted the Strict Scrutiny podcast, which is like a real serious legal podcast. And I had to spend multiple hours studying and reading case law. And I was like, Kate wants me to watch reality television. I like that homework more.
Yeah, I voice noted her yesterday as I was driving back from the beach, and I'm like, I see everybody talking about this Netflix doc. Should we watch it and then discuss on the pod? So yeah, that was.
And I even
thought I was asking a lot.
Okay. And I have a question, Kate. I don't actually think you've ever yelled at me about this. Lots of people in my life have yelled at me about this, that I respond to text messages with the words okay a lot. And in general, respond to forms of written communication with like one-word answers regularly.
Well, we have talked about this a little bit. No, I don't even think about it. I probably didn't even see it. It's probably still in my unreads. Like, I don't.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I'm not sending you. I'm acknowledging receipt.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
I will do what you ask me to do, and then I will spend my time doing it.
You know what, though? You never use punctuation, and I did get a little excited because I was voice noting you yesterday because I was driving, and I did see that you sent back okay exclamation point, and I was like, oh my God, she thinks this is a good idea. I never get the exclamation point from Emily Lamott.
That is true. I did think it was a good idea, and I did give you okay exclamation point, and then now it's special. It's because if I gave you exclamation points all the time, how would you know when I'm truly excited about something?
I know. I mean, that's
you know what the other thing I don't do? I don't emoticon respond to messages very often.
Okay. I do literally 24/7.
Never. You've never ever done that with something of mine.
Oh, really?
No, never. That's never.
I beg to differ. I'm gonna go through our history.
Okay. Maybe a haha.
I will even no, I hate the haha because as a millennial, I'm all about the LOL. Like the haha is so chuggy.
I love a laughing crying emoji.
Me too. They can never take that from me ever.
No,
and I love
can't
the
take from that. And my fucking side part. Take my side part and my laughy crying emoji from my cold, dead millennial hands.
I love the melty smiley face. That's kind of like my baseline. Wait, okay. Go into your text messages. Let's see what our most 3 used emojis are.
Okay.
So if you go into iMessage and then you press the emoji.
Yeah. Mine is, oh my God, Kate, I'm such a lover girl. Do you want to know what mine are?
Is it the top?
Oh, wait. I have a question. Which is it? Is it going down from the top?
I don't know.
Yeah. God, we're too dumb. Mine are beating heart emoji, pink, double pink heart emoji, and then the face. And then it's winky, and then it's face heart emoji. Guys, I'm such a lover girl. What are yours, Kate? Poop emoji?
No, sideways laughing hysterically emoji.
Yeah,
the skeleton and the couch because I've been talking about JD Vance a bit. So that must be the most recent.
I'm just going to go and see if you've ever, I just want you to know, Kate, I'm currently reviewing our text chain and you've never emoji responded to anything I've ever said.
Okay.
I'm reviewing it right now. I see one heart. I see a single heart. And it was, and this is the message Kate Duffy hearted. Okay, I slept for 24 hours and I am alive again. That was after I had surgery a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And I was like, oh
yeah, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful emotional support you offered. You weren't even willing to respond via a full text. Just a heart emoji.
Sometimes it's like, for me, I'm like, okay, just a heart emoji right now. And then you could say something later. And then I am not the circle back queen. Let's just say that.
What did you do this weekend? Because my weekend is relevant to this.
Okay. Well, then I didn't do much. I mean, we just like hung around here. I did drive up to Kohler with kids yesterday, which is
like Kohler from the faucets.
Yes, that's where Kohler is. It's actually,
isn't there a spa there?
Yes, you would love it. It's amazing.
I've heard good things.
It's like a 5-star. It's called the American Club. It's a very bougie club at Kohler, which is right outside of Sheboygan, like an hour north of Milwaukee.
And I love the word Sheboygan. I think that's up there with Schenectady for some of my favorite words for names of cities. Mm-hmm.
But yes, you would love it. They also have, that you would love, which I haven't been to, but I've seen countless TikToks and Instagram reels. Mm-hmm. At the American Club, they have this like cafe that anybody can go to, and it has all like stained glass windows, and it was like taken apart from England and transported here and set up again, and it's supposed to be like amazing.
I love that shit. In the museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, my favorite part is the like taken apart houses that they like brought into the museum, into the Met Museum.
Yeah, so crazy.
I love those things.
So yeah, drove up there to, there's a really cool state park. It's called, oh my God, everybody's going to kill me. I can never remember if it's Kohler Andre or Kohler on. I think it's Kohler Andre State Park.
Yeah.
There's like beautiful sand dunes and like the like wooden slat paths, and then just beautiful Lake Michigan, where it's like, it's so clear and clean when you get an hour outside of Milwaukee. So we just like went up to the beach, and you know, I drove past the massive data center that they're building up in Port Washington.
I saw you post that. Yeah.
Yeah, the little sticky thing on my phone came in handy for that, because I just pressed record and stuck it onto my window.
Oh yeah, Octobuddy, right?
Octobuddy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you convinced me to buy one of those, and then now I just use it to keep a box on my vanity so it doesn't fall off with my jewelry in it. So
yeah, well, I do feel like they have
uses,
multiple uses. Yeah.
I
also, when I was at the DNC, it came in handy because I had an external battery, because we were there all day and our phones were dying. Yeah, and it connected with a cord, and I could just stick it right to the Octobuddy. Anyways, that was really all we did. You know, I mean, every time we talk about our weekends, I'm a little self-conscious because I just have young kids and my life is just really boring right now. So I don't have a ton to share, but it was fun.
I mean, I feel like my weekends are always more boring.
Well, what did you do?
I cleaned out my emails this weekend. I had 4,000 unread emails, and it really has been weighing heavily on my heart. I felt extreme agita related to these just folders and folders full of unread messages. And so I cleaned out my inbox. I think my personal inbox is at like 5 or 6 emails, and my work inbox is like 15 or 20 emails. So I really got through.
Oh
my God. Did some damage.
I'm shook.
I know. I went through 4,000
You don't even want to
emails.
know what mine's way past the point of return.
I know. I saw Glennis Mahar of the Vibes Only podcast.
Yeah. How was Glennis?
Glennis is good. I saw her today. She told me she had 35,000 emails in her personal inbox. And I was like, honestly, bury me. You know what I mean? I couldn't take it. I would have to get a new email address.
First of all, I knew Glennis was one of us, and by one of us, I mean one of me.
Yeah,
because
correct.
She posted a story one time where she like went to her PO box or her mailbox for like the first time that year, and it was like several months later. And I just did that the other week. But
I have a type, you know what I mean? And I know that about myself, and that's fine. And
no, I get it. My friends
are
them horrified when they see all the red notifications on my phone. They're absolutely horrified.
Yeah, you have a type also. And, and as does Glennis. But yeah, so Glennis was like, yeah, I should probably get that under control. And I was like, girly. So Glennis and I took a little time she was in Washington, D.C. So I got to see her today, which was fun. We went swimming in her hotel pool, which was a pleasure. And we did our little jazzercise in the pool while we yip-yapped about work.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Glennis
It was
is
so
fun and funny. I love her.
She's the best. You guys should listen to her podcast and follow her if you don't already.
Yes, with Brian Derrick, who is also the best.
We do love Brian Derrick. I love him for who he is. He's also a hottie toddy, so that's good.
So hot.
Yeah, God bless.
Somebody around here has got to work out, and it's not going to be me. So
it's not going to be us. He's always like posting all of these workout selfies, and I'm like, oh my God, Brian, to be 31,
endorphins by association over here. Yeah.
I had dinner with friends this weekend, did like a bunch of long socializing, played mahjong with my girlies. So that was fun. Just a bunch of normal things. Had the doggo, so had to keep her occupied. It was actually really good weather in DC this weekend, so I was also able to like sit outside and relax, but also did quite a bit of cleaning. I'm continuing to do my massive clean of the house, which is making me feel so good, and I feel has been so necessary. I can't believe it's 100 days till midterms now, and that's a little bit stressing me out. I've sort of been on a little bit of a political vacation this summer where I've been like, it's going to get really stressful in September, so why don't we stop for a little while?
Well, I feel like everybody's been everybody is always a little bit on a political vacation in the summer.
Yeah.
Like we have always noticed our numbers just go down. People are less tuned in. But you know who's on a real vacation is Congress for 5 weeks.
The House is out. They are just not doing work. The Senate's in right now, but like
Thank you for
what are they
going to get on that?
What are they going to get done? Nothing is the most likely
the SAVE
answer.
Act.
Mike Lee, the senator from Utah. I know if we have any Utah girlies listening to the pod, I know you girls fucking hate him. So just here to validate you in those feelings.
Rosie.
Hey girl. And he is like, actually, I'm not going to let the Senate go home unless we vote on SAVE Act. And everyone in his caucus is probably like, shut the fuck up, Mike.
Is he even in charge of anything?
Well, there's like some very obscure rules related to the budget and the fact that there's like a punishment for the Senate if they don't get the budget done by April, which allows any one senator to bring it up. It's a whole thing. And so there's some stuff that he can do, but it's a real nightmare situation. And they also have another problem, which is Mitch McConnell.
Dead or alive?
Well, he's alive.
Yes, Emily's keeping it in check here. I get a little teasy with the conspiracy theories, but they did release another proof of life photo of Mitch McConnell today. And I just want to say, what are we doing here? If that is where we're at, nobody has seen him since June 16th. We've been through 70,000.
Honestly, his wife looks like maybe she got a little work done, and that's why she was out of the picture.
They both do. They both look great if they're real.
She got a little lift. Oh, you're like, are you thinking it's Photoshop?
No, I haven't had a chance to put them side by side, but I was laughing when I saw it because I'm like, this looks like the exact same picture as the last one, but like in a new location. Like they're sitting the exact same way, aren't they?
No. He's sitting up in this one and he was like in the bed in the last one. I mean, I think the thing is, he had a fall. He probably boinked his head. He's probably profoundly unwell. Another senator, Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia, said, I don't know if she said she spoke to him or she knows someone who spoke to him, that said he's mentally all there, which, I mean, to whatever degree he was previously mentally there. You know, the whole thing is a disaster. I saw someone posting like, it's misogyny that women have to bring their babies to the floor to vote, but he's allowed to take a vacation. I was like, well, except for he's not allowed to vote. This is a problem for the Republican Senate. They actually need his vote.
Yeah, so I think it was Amanda's Mild Takes put up a video because everybody is like so enraged that we haven't seen or heard from him. And I'm paraphrasing to the max, but she was basically like, yeah, everybody shut the fuck up. We don't care.
Yeah. This is not so I think if he dies, right, there's something maybe that could happen, but having him incapacitated and therefore not able to vote is not a bad thing to slow down Republicans' ability to pass shitty legislation like the SAVE Act, which BTW, like SAVE Act, has no chance of passing. It requires 60 votes. That would mean Democrats would have to support it. There are no Democrats who support the SAVE Act. It is highly, highly, highly unlikely, I would say 0.0001% chance that they can figure out a way to get it past the parliamentarian. Mike Lee says he has a way to get it passed by reconciliation. But at this point, there's not even reconciliation 3.0 is this big defense spending bill. And there's not even agreement to get that passed. So I don't know how they would get this other thing passed. Anyhow, that was a really big, boring diversion. But to say, Kate's like shaking her head at me, being like, Emily, no one fucking cares.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah, it's having Mitch McConnell out is a good thing. Now, if and when Mitch McConnell dies, we've talked about this before, I think, that like maybe Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, who's a Democrat, can try to force a war over how he gets replaced.
Isn't it already set? Like, I thought each state had a procedure if this happens. Like, I thought in Wisconsin it was the governor appoints someone.
No, so in Kentucky, because everyone has always known that Mitch McConnell was going to die in that fucking seat. Like, obviously, that's what Mitch McConnell is going to do. He will never give up power.
Yeah, isn't his nickname like the Grim Reaper or something?
Well, I think that's what the internet calls him. I don't know. Do you have to consent?
Those are my people. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so the Kentucky legislature passed legislation a couple of years ago and got a law signed in that said there was going to have to be an election, and it's going to be in August. But I think August 13th is the deadline by which he has to resign for there to be an election. But because they knew there could be a Democratic governor who they didn't want that governor to be able to appoint. But Andy Beshear has Bashar. I always mispronounce everything. Sorry, guys. Has floated the concept that is unconstitutional under the Kentucky state constitution, and he should be able to appoint a replacement. So there's a fight to be had there, and I think he should fight it, if nothing, because I think that's good press for him.
Great press. We've been telling you, Andy, get in there.
Get in there.
Rile things up.
And we probably discussed this last week. You guys, between Kate's mom's brain and my adrenal crisis brain, who knows?
We're working towards a full brain for you all.
With our powers combined. You know who I think wishes we would forget what's happening right now, Kate? One Ken Martin.
Oh my God. Okay, so did you see the story that came out over the weekend?
Did you see? Did you guys see the New York Times article? I read it. I sent it to everyone I know, and I was like, everyone, please read this.
Ken Martin is melting down. He's heading towards a cliff. Things are getting dark. He is, I think it said he was paranoid, doesn't trust anybody, is throwing phones at aides.
This is like the beginning of any great episode of Real Housewives.
It doesn't sound good. In fact, I'm reading some of this stuff and I'm like, actually, this sounds like a worse problem than just like the DNC. Like, I don't know. It sounds like somebody should check on him.
So Ken Martin, head of the DNC, he was the head of the Minnesota Democratic Party for a really long time, and he was extremely successful in that job. Of course, the people who elect folks to be the head of the DNC, this isn't like generally Democrats. This is people who are chosen by their state parties to be the delegates who vote for the DNC chair. So he was a very, very well-liked state leader who was elected on a platform of empowering states. And he has done that part of his platform, which is he has given money to state parties and territories. He's investing in, territories and red states that weren't previously invested in. However, there's not a lot of money to use to do that investment.
No money. I think
we are in debt.
$2 million in debt.
And Republicans have like 148, is it, Kate? Million?
Yes. So Trump's super PAC has 400 million, which is not the RNC, but still has 400 million. And then the official RNC has 130 million.
Yeah.
We have 2 million in the hole.
And there was a recent Supreme Court case that is going to make it easier for the parties to be able to spend on elections. And so it has become increasingly important for our parties to raise money because they can spend it versus independent expenditures can't coordinate with candidates. And Ken Martin has just not been able to raise at the scale he should be, in addition to sort of not be able to be out there building the Democratic brand and addressing the concerns of the base. And not to mention the whole issue of the 2024 autopsy, which was truly bungled. And, my take at the time was like, I think this clearly shows there's some management problems over yonder. And it's a hard fucking job. I don't think there's many people who want that job, to be honest. Ben Whitmer, by all accounts, doesn't want it. Is that right, Kate?
Well, it's funny you bring him up because all of this is very interesting timing because Ben Whitmer is on a book tour right now. He just came out with a book.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know him well here in Wisconsin. He was very successful turning our state Democratic Party around. Yeah. Very brilliant guy, phenomenal fundraiser. He ran for DNC. What?
You like him?
I like him and I respect him. I don't know him personally.
Okay.
And something I think that is interesting that I've noticed a lot of, and I want to get your take on, is there's so much establishment talk going around, right? Yeah. And people and in this particular context, everybody thinks like, Ken is the establishment. We wanted Ben. And I'm like, okay, but Ben had
they were literally similarly situated.
Schumer, Pelosi, Jeffries. Like to me in Wisconsin, there's nothing more establishment than Ben Whitmer, but everybody else seems to think that he's not the establishment.
Yeah. It's so interesting how brands are built. You know what I mean? And like Ben was the head of the Wisconsin Democratic Party. Ken was the head of the Minnesota Democratic Party. I mean, I guess
LOL, literally Ken and Ben, these Midwestern homeboys.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it would have been any different with Ben. It probably would have been, but I still think it would have been an uphill battle. I think maybe we need Letitia James or something.
Oh, I love Tish. I mean, I think whoever was in the position was in a bad place. I think the reality is you needed sort of a bulldog, and Shannon Watts posted on Twitter saying, I raised $11 million for Kamala Harris, and Ken didn't even call me asking me for money. And so how good of a fundraising program is he running? And I don't think people realize the degree to which most of our politicians and political leaders are spending a huge amount of time on the phone, making phone calls, asking people for money. And money is a huge problem in politics. And part of that problem, it's not just about who gives the money, it's about the amount of time that has to be spent raising money. I mean, and not these days, but historically, would give maybe $250 to my friends when they were running for Congress. And I get calls. I've had Nancy Pelosi call me asking me for money. And I'm just like, this cannot be. I know. I was like, this cannot be.
Her real, her?
No, her. I've had her call. Right.
Did you answer?
I did. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And dial for dollars. And I'm not a big donor, you know what I mean? But I was a regular donor for a long time. And so then medical bills piled up, and I was like, actually, that $250 is going to go to the hospital.
You can only do so much, yeah.
And we're at 24 minutes before I brought up my medical ailment. So that's a record for the actual
new record. I saw a clip over the weekend related to this where somebody was on, I don't know if it was on Fox News or something, but he was saying, the big difference, the big tech people and the very rich, just capitalist people that kind of run this country, the reason they like Trump so much isn't necessarily because he helps them, although he does. It's because Trump always answers the phone when they call. And Biden or other Democrats don't always, because they're presumably busy and they're I gotta call them back. But Trump just loves when these people call him.
He does. Well, and I think that they also like that Trump is transactional. He'll say, if you give me X amount of dollars, he'll quid pro quo people.
Yeah.
And they like that. They live in extreme capitalism and they think they should be able to buy these things. Weasel is screaming. Sorry if anyone hears her.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, she's just, I don't know. She's walking around. She meow meows a lot.
Well, so what does this all mean? What is next for the DNC? Are we totally fucked going into 2028? The midterms I'm not as concerned about, but
that's a really great question, Kate. So
thank you very much.
I thought you were going to ask about midterms, which would have been an easier answer. I mean, because
we can't. Are we fucked generally?
Are we fucked generally? I mean, no. I think, right. So midterms, and I'll also say the DNC appears to have some very serious money problems. They took out a $15 million loan. They put up their headquarters, like, I don't know, whatever you put it up for.
Got a second mortgage on the house just to pay for shit. They're telling people not to bill them until after the midterms.
Yeah. So I mean, they're proposing some grand fundraising committee that'll be like shared amongst all Democrats, because the reality is, so there are people in the Democratic Party who are fundraising right now. And those are people who are fundraising online. John Ossoff has raised gargantuan sums. Ro Khanna, gargantuan sums. AOC, gargantuan sums. They're all putting that money aside for their presidential runs. But so I think 2026, we're fine. The problem with the DNC is like they are in charge of running the primary process for 2028. There has to be confidence in them. So I don't know. I don't really see how Ken Martin is happy in his current position. That poor man seems to be miserable.
Oh, miserable. I feel a little badly for him. But like, what do you mean they run the primary process? Can't we just hire like some awesome girl boss event agency out of New York City to just like light this shit up?
You know what we should do? We should have Andy Breeze from North Carolina and the woman who's the head of the main Democratic Party. We should be like, yes, girlies, you're in charge now. You're in charge, girlies. In God we trust. You know what I mean?
How much worse could it get? Like,
I bet in college you got those two gals could plan a fucking rager and just put them in charge, and everything will be fine.
Like, oh no, we need the DNC to plan the primary process. How hard could it be?
Well, let me be clear. You and I can't even plan a podcast episode. We definitely couldn't do it.
Well, it's not us. You know.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
How hard could it be? Too hard for us.
Surely there's competent women who could do this in their sleep.
I will say
fundraising is a different thing, but
I think some of the gals in my Mahjong group could probably do it. They're pretty competent. I'm always like, I love being the least competent member of this group. You
know what I would like to see? You know those reels where people spin around the laptop and they have the deck that they've made, the presentation? Uh-huh. Can all the girlies who do feel like this is up their alley, can you guys make a quick deck about what you would do if you were taking over the DNC? I would love to see some of these presentations.
Also, I do want you to know, Kate, my Mahjong group did ask to be on an episode of this podcast. So one of these days I might just bring the mic, put it in the middle of the Mahjong board, and set up the camera.
What does stuff get like crazy in your conversation?
They all work in politics. Politics and journalism. They all have big thoughts.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they follow more pop culture than you and I do. They're always talking about things that are over my head.
Oh, I used to follow so much pop culture, and now I've been.
You did. The children really took that away from you.
The drama of the politics.
Do you think politics or children took it away? I think actually you're right. It is politics.
Because it's still drama.
Yeah.
It still scratches that itch.
It does. It's so much drama, and also it's gossip. Like, I consider politics to be professionalized gossiping.
100%. That's why, like, all the crazy, there's so many articles about Dems in disarray here in Wisconsin, and there's so much going on. And I'm like, I kind of just am loving it because frankly, they're all capable. So I'm like, we'll end up with a great candidate. But for now, this is hilarious.
I think that Democrats need to, after this Ken Martin article came out, I saw some people tut-tutting and being like, we shouldn't be criticizing, we should only be helping. It's like, actually, I think we should learn to take public criticism more. Obviously, I don't mean me. Please don't publicly criticize me. Or Kate, not us. Leave us in our corner. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, actually, it sounds like things aren't going well. And maybe we should have some family conversations about it.
Yeah, there's a difference between just like people who like to talk shit and you can never win, and so nobody's ever going to be happy, and then the reports coming out, which are frankly sound quite toxic, and that worries me.
Yeah, and the Democratic Party is the vehicle. Online sometimes people talk about throwing it out the door and three-party system and that is mathematically not a viable prospect, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's no viable path forward to third parties. I love fusion parties. That's a whole other conversation. But at the end of the day, we live in a majority made system. Our elections are majority made. You need 50%. The Democratic Party is the part. It is what it is. That's our vehicle, and you have to work within the system to change the system. Weasel is now retiring to her bed shamer.
I see.
She is.
Goodbye,
She's
Weasel.
done. She said, "Fuck this."
Goodbye,
I stayed there.
Missies.
30 minutes was enough work for her. Weasel has taken over the guest bedroom as her bedroom. But, it is, we have to fix it, and we have to fix the brand. And I don't just mean that as like a Band-Aid. I'm like, we have to fix the problems. There's rot within the system in many different ways.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about DSA sort of making this rise to? Obviously, it helps that Zohran Mamdani, who is like one of the most talented politicians we've had in recent memory,
for sure,
sort of represents them. But they seem to be gaining some traction, and they operate separately, but also within the Democratic Party. Like all the DSA people are also Democrats.
Right. And I think that, the DSA is in and of itself made up of different groups of people. And there's like this DSA person that's going online talking about going on like Fox News, talking about how she hates the Democrats and wants to destroy the party. And that's ridiculous. And there's obviously a lot of commentators online who would echo that. And like, that's unhelpful.
No. Yeah.
But I think what the Zohran Mamdanis and the AOCs of the world understand working within the system. They understand majority making. I mean, Mamdani, now in power, has, I think, really done a lot to accrue a solid base in New York. So I think when we're talking just sort of pure politics, we'll see where it goes. But they're also like, DSA is knocking off safe blue districts. And part of the Big Tent Democratic Party means like we cannot merely exist in safe blue districts. There's quite a few purple seats, which we need to win to have a majority. And without a majority, we don't get to do anything. So it takes sort of all sides, and I think it's good. This is why I like fusion parties, right? Like I think that having subsets within the Democratic Party that can organize and fund their own candidates and also be a home for people, because I think one of the things that people are really looking for are ideological communities that they can be a part of where people share their values. And DSA is offering that. I'll say, like, when AOC was first rising up, she had Justice Democrats. And that was sort of a predecessor to the current to the way DSA is currently existing. Not saying it's a one for one here, but it served a very similar role. But it is very hard to run these organizations. So I'll say like Working Families Party has been doing this for a long time. There's lots of different groups. There's other names of other things in different states. So lots of people have been doing it. But at the end of the day, you have to win a lot of seats, and that takes a lot of different types of candidates. And one of the things we're going to find out in Michigan is if this populist message works in purple states. And I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan and Gretchen Whitmer
possibly
just
Wisconsin
came out and endorsed Haley Stevens, and Wisconsin. I mean, it's going to be crazy, and it's looking like that she definitely is probably going to win the primary. The general is going to be a bloodbath. So we'll see what happens. But I do think it's good to just have the different entities like you're talking about, and the different, especially for candidates, to have different places to go to get resources and support too, because it is like the establishment Democrats, they are establishment for a reason, and they're right a lot of the time, but they're very particular about the types of candidates they want and certain things. And I think it's hard a lot of times for candidates who want to push some of those things a little bit. And so I'm glad that like we're getting more infrastructure for different types of ideas, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw someone posting on TikTok about Janet Mills, and they were saying, they're like, I hate Chuck Schumer, but he probably had the oppo on Graham Plattner and was like, fuck this guy. We need a good candidate. And Janet Mills was a safe bet. And I have said, I was living in Maine last summer and talking to a lot of people about this. And I will say across the board, everyone I talked to liked Janet Mills last summer. And
everybody loved her when she was getting clips,
Right.
getting clicks, like
Right.
calling out Trump at the
Right.
White House lunch.
And frankly, I would be like, don't you think she's a little old? And they'd be like, Susan Collins is old. Well, I want someone who can beat Susan Collins. And so, you know, and they are making, and I think it's bad. I think safe bets are bad, and the reliance on these overly safe bets of people with high name recognition and histories of winning is part of the things that's got us into the place that we are. I mean, they're like, incumbency advantage historically is a thing that has existed. It is real. It's not like a made up thing. You are much more statistically likely to win an election as an incumbent than you are as a non-incumbent. The end. Goodbye.
People just are familiar.
Right.
And like, what people on the internet don't understand is that not everybody votes or thinks like us. A lot of people vote based on like a name they recognize and a face they met sometime, or they read an article that they did something good.
And when you're a member of Congress, you get a lot of media attention. You can do a lot of constituent services. You know what I mean? And those are all things that help you get reelected the next time. Politics is increasingly nationalized, so these are things are changing. But you know, the establishment, Chuck Schumer, made this same Janet Mills bet in other states. We have Sherrod Brown. We have Roy Cooper. We have Mary Peltola in Alaska, whom I love and adore. She's like one of the nicest people I've ever met in politics in my life.
Oh, really? Like,
yeah,
in real life?
In real life.
Nice.
She's been in my house.
Wait, is she in the Mahjong group?
I wish. Mary, join my Maj. I am trying to get a member of Congress to join my Maj group. I'll let you know when it happens. And unfortunately, her schedule is very busy. And I'm like, please carve some time for Maj.
Wait, is it the one? I forget her name from California. My favorite one. Oh my God, what's her name? Anyways, I'm sure there's a bunch of fun ones. Is that her?
I think so.
Oh my.
And yeah, no, Mary is like, literally, I've never met a nicer person in politics. And so, you know, he is making those bets in those places as well. And they might win. Of course, you know, it doesn't really help build the Democratic brand in any meaningful way that we need to have these larger wins to go beyond these few seats. But I do think it's a push and pull. But you're right, especially down ballot, of which there's like thousands upon thousands of down ballot races across this country. There needs to be more opportunities, you know, for people to get in the door, to not feel like they have to wait in line.
Yeah. Which is a very real thing.
It's
and like, there's some races here like that like I've endorsed the non-establishment candidate.
And I hate waiting.
And I'm like,
whenever I have friends who are running and they're making me wait in line, I'm always like, fuck that. Fuck it. Go up. Go run for the thing you want.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Comes back to like our first episode. It's like the loyalty. It's like, loyalty is good, guys, but like when it is blocking everything, when it is blocking actual progress and the best person for the moment, then fuck it.
And I'll also say that in our day-to-day life. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck loyalty.
Fuck loyalty, Kate. JK, I hate cheaters. Be loyal. If my blue is watching, listening. And
Emily, you are very loyal, I feel.
I am very loyal.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Even like as a friend, I feel like you wouldn't fuck me over.
No.
And that's hard to find in this line of work.
Yeah, it's probably one of the reasons for my truncated success in the industry. But that's fine.
Totally.
I go to sleep well at night.
It's fine.
But, you know, I think that like even the sort of imposter syndrome of it all, like, you know, Graham Plattner looked at himself and was like, you know what, I should be a senator. And if that man thought that to himself, girl, you know what I mean? Go for the raise, go for the job, whatever, who fucking cares?
Like, not to get all Mary Oliver and shit, but we are only on this planet for a certain short amount of time. What are you going to do with your life?
Dear
your wild
listener,
and precious life.
Dear listener, one Catherine Duffy never opens the fucking TikToks I send her. I looked last night and there's like literally 40 TikToks that I've sent. I would say a solid 10 of those are about Mary Oliver.
Okay, I need to go look.
Yeah, they're like,
I love
so
Mary
thoughtful
Oliver.
And kind, Kate. This bitch who loves the
There's
Mary
some
Oliver
good trending
quote.
sounds going
there
around with Mary
are.
Oliver that I've wanted to do, because you guys might not know this, but I'm actually like pretty woo-woo sometimes. But I feel like I've built this version of myself that is still a version of myself too, which is about politics. And now I can't get all like misty-eyed about Mary Oliver, but I guess I could.
I think that's not true at all.
Okay.
Even last night, I was talking to my Blue about Abby Wambach, and I was like, oh, I met her with Kate, and they were like, oh yeah, when Kate met Glennon, and I was like, it was
Glennon,
a big day.
And Abby and sister, that I absolutely died.
That was
very important to me.
That was a good day. Even my cold dead heart wept a little seeing you hug Glennon.
I know. And that was, you guys, talk about loyalty and being a girl's girl. Emily was like, no, go talk. She like shoved me up there. She's like, you need to go talk to her. And she filmed the whole thing. And it was just like, and listen, if you're listening, don't come for me with your Glennis, like did this or whatever. Glennis, her first book that you all have probably not.
Glennon, not Glennis.
Glennon.
I'm like,
Glennon.
Wait, there's an anti-Glennis?
No,
Glennis
is also very important to me, but no, Glennon was a very important part of my sobriety journey.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't take that away from me.
No. So. And that's really important to you and like a huge part of your journey and your growth. And, sometimes, that the internet culture has been grating my gears a little bit recently. Yeah. And I just sort of think that we're being a little bit too mean to people.
Yes.
And it like this life, it can be quite hard and arduous and painful. And it's like, I feel most people are just trying their fucking bests, and like, we have to be a little bit like, sometimes I see these posts and I'll see the comments and they're so mean. And I'm just like, just let this person try their best to live their one precious life.
And I think everybody thinks like in politics or probably in other industries like Hollywood or whatever, that there's all this magic that happens behind the scenes, or that it's like this really sophisticated process with these powerful people. And like, it's just regular people building relationships, trying to do what they can with the resources available to them. Like, just like you, they're in a different location at a different level, but it's like everybody, there's no secret,
Yeah, it has been really interesting to sort of walk with you in this process of getting involved in politics. I posted today a photo I took literally 22 years ago when I was working at the 2004 DNC, and I was
oh my gosh,
Hillary's body woman for the DNC or whatever.
What does that mean? Like, I was her Gary.
I was like her. What is Gary?
Gary from Veep.
Yeah, it was like I was like her Gary. I was tasked with walking and like making sure she got from point A to point B. That was my job.
That's amazing.
And Poppy's here, and I have been doing this for so fucking long. It has been interesting over the last 5 years to sort of like walk with you as you got involved in politics. And I remember in the beginning, you thinking everything was so unattainable and people had all this information that you didn't have. And I kept being like, no, Kate, it's just, you know what I mean? Trust me, you're fine. And you didn't believe me in the beginning, I think.
I didn't, because you just see, you live these experiences, you see politics through this lens that feels so far away, and you just think that like, you get worried or you think about something and you're like, surely somebody much smarter than me is already fixing that, is doing something about that. And then I'm like, they're actually not. I mean, the people are trying, but there's no like,
am I
secret
remembering
cavalry.
This correctly, that there's like the Michelle Obama quote that like nothing fixed her imposter syndrome, like being in the room with people who make decisions?
I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. But yes.
And like, I feel that way.
Has been good for my imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Like I've seen some of the men in charge and I've been like, yeah, they're not.
Okay, well, I have to continue the woo-woo and then we can switch back to another topic and read you guys
we have to get to our pop culture pod thing and then we have to end this podcast.
Okay, this will be a good segue. It's kind of pop culture. So this is a quote from Anne Lamott, who is Glennon adjacent, I would say. And she does talk about prayer, but it's a different kind of prayer, guys.
Okay.
Anyways,
To the goddess.
She's hilarious. She says, "It's funny. I always imagined when I was a kid that adults had some kind of inner toolbox full of shiny tools, the saw of discernment, the hammer of wisdom, the sandpaper of patience. But then when I grew up, I found that life handed you these rusty old bent tools, friendships, prayer, conscience, honesty, and said, do the best you can with these. They will have to do. And mostly, against all odds, they do." And I think about that all the time because it literally, the highest people in government and power, have an old toolbox of rusty ass tools.
Yeah, the same tools that you and I have. Maybe some better connections and access to people with money that we don't have.
For sure. But also sometimes, though, in coming from corporate to government, I'm like, this is the tech you guys are working with. Like sometimes the tools are rustier.
Yeah. And it's small teams. There's like a very small group of people running our government sometimes, I feel. Like,
yeah, I mean, guys, it's paid with government tax dollars. It is like...
Anyhow, can we segue to our pop culture episode? Because you did assign me homework and I did complete my pop culture homework.
So, you guys, we saw you were all, every single one of you on the internet, watching the Netflix documentary. What's it called? Toxic?
Oh, great.
We are so bad at this. Hold on. You
Toxic
guys,
friend. Toxic Netflix.
Let me just pull up my
Toxic
notes again.
love story. A toxic love story.
Love story. Yeah. So I think this is a newer release on Netflix and everybody was talking about it. So we were like, okay, we got to watch it and talk about it. What was your main or first takeaway?
So number one, I would just want to say.
Hold on. Spoilers. Everybody, spoilers. If you haven't watched this yet and you want to, then end the podcast now.
So it is almost impossible to summarize this documentary in advance because there's so many twists and question marks and open question marks. But it's like, it is a series of Russian doll bad people, seemingly. Catfish each other. And there's false confessions. And I would say a documentary that doesn't feel compelled to give us all the answers. It is a documentary that was probably created on a small budget. And Netflix says, don't worry, the people will watch it. And guess what? They were right. We did.
And you guys, it was so boring.
Oh, you were bored. I actually was not bored because I'm willing to listen to an open question. You know what I mean? And who is the bad guy is usually good enough for me. And it was sort of the Bell burden of documentaries. Very boring, but nonetheless driven to reach a conclusion.
Yeah, definitely like some shady stuff going on, like shitty people who have nothing better to do than be shitty people. There were some twists and turns.
This was all over a condo, and this guy framed his ex-girlfriend so he could get the condo, which we learn at the end he actually did sell the condo and get the money from the condo. This man is a Disney adult who
red flag number one.
A Disney adult who also tried to make the girlfriend do some weird sex stuff, and he was hiring people off Craigslist to engage in rape fantasies. And this guy who was for hire on the Craigslist to participate in the rape fantasies, how did they get him to participate in this documentary? Why would anyone do that?
Like, the thing is, and the first half of the documentary was like, was it this awful girlfriend or this awful ex-girlfriend?
And it turns out it was the man.
To the second half, it's like, oh, it's the man who's actually also law enforcement.
Oh, right. Yeah. Shocker. I will say I did know that from the beginning. I was like, I think the guy did it.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, I have some preconceived biases.
Yeah, I mean, he cared way too much. He was like so
animated
part of this when the police were over.
He immediately knew that the ex-girlfriend had set up the new girlfriend to be a victim of a rape fantasy. I was like, did she tell you? How did you know she did this? How did you know this guy? The whole thing seemed like a preposterous setup that I guess the FBI did figure. I guess the FBI got involved, which again, I don't really know how. And then part of it was he was creating these angry emails that the ex-girlfriend was supposedly sending the current wife, but it was all fake, as Lilith, the biblical figure. And I was like, this man has used ChatGPT to write his
I know. And I just,
catfishing.
okay, if anybody's listening and you did really enjoy this true crime documentary on Netflix,
Well, I enjoyed it.
You did?
Yeah.
I am just begging, though, you guys to just pay more attention to the news, because we got shit like this and way worse than this all the time. Like, there's 6 or 7 instances of police officers in Wisconsin over just the past year getting caught using the flock cameras to stalk their exes.
Well, like, Kate, have you seen that? Okay, so you know how there's that TikTok trend going around where you like sit down and it's like about to start my Netflix documentary about blah, blah, blah. Yes. And this poor woman, she did a TikTok of the Netflix documentary and says, you know, about to start my Netflix documentary about how I found out my ex-husband's a pedophile. And he killed her and then killed himself.
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is like a true story that's happening right now.
That's what I mean. If people like, if that is awful, and I'm like, I can't even.
He was like a girls' basketball coach and was grooming the girls or something. Fucking awful.
That's why I think sometimes the true crime that are really centered around just like a normal person in America is almost a little too much for me, when like I'd rather like somehow compartmentalize it with like the people in power in our government, where the true crime stories, the cup runneth over. Like, if you true crime girlies knew what was going on with the level of corruption,
your attention to flock cameras and data centers, that would be great.
In the United States government, you would be. If the true crime girlies and the Taylor Swift girlies who always figure out the clues.
Why don't you guys deal with Don Jr. and Jared Kushner and the billions they are earning right now? That would be super helpful.
Look into the mine they just were a part of in some other country, and the metals and the data centers. Yeah. And you guys, come on, come join me over here. Come on over.
We need your expertise and services.
We need your talents for the big true crime, the big kahunas. Right. It's wild out here.
I agree. And sometimes it's like they are giving us reality TV to distract us, right? Isn't that why the Romans invented gladiators, right? Like to distract the people from the horrible life that they were making them lead. I don't know.
I don't know if that's
is it true or not. I think so.
Oh no. Now I'm going to have to go down another rabbit hole.
Oh God, we're going to have to talk about the Roman Empire.
So many red herrings. I love a red herring.
I don't think
that's kind of what that is, right? A distraction?
I don't know. A red herring is like a distraction meant to confuse you from the end. I think you just mean like a diversion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's fine.
Those feel similar to me.
Listeners, let us know who's right here.
And let us know what you thought of this documentary. I'm sure
I would say
an Oscar.
There's a lot of open questions that documentary left me with, namely, how did they make a documentary about a crime so obvious? But God bless, you know, and then it does end with this poor woman who's in love with the bad guy this whole time. And she has to be like, no, I wasn't in love with him. I just loved him. And it's like, girl, ugh.
I thought the one that was last year about like the teen who was getting cyberbullied, I can't remember what it was actually, it was kind of a similar trope, but that one was pretty crazy. That one was worth watching.
I generally try to stay away from true crime. Having started my career in real crime, it makes me big sad. And I also find, like, I don't know, the true crime podcasts sometimes make me feel uncomfortable.
We hope you guys enjoyed this pop culture segment.
God, I make everything depressing.
Wait, I do have, but something we are going to be watching and recapping every fucking week.
Oh, are we?
The Real Housewives of New York, the original cast is coming back, and it is starting in early November. So no matter how the elections go, we will have Dorinda, Carol, the gang's back.
Am I going to be watching Real Housewives, Kate?
Yes, yeah. They're Real Housewives of New York.
I've never watched Real Housewives.
Emily Amick.
I know.
This is your new homework. Start Real Housewives of New York from the start.
You can't make me watch all of them. No, you can't do that.
No, the first like 2 seasons are absolutely hilarious.
The only Real Housewife I like is Bronwyn. I love Bronwyn. That's Salt Lake City.
Okay, we'll talk about this offline. Okay.
Well, you know what? One day when you guys when we have enough subscribers We have like 7 right now. But when we have enough subscribers to have a Patreon, you'll get to hear me and Kate bicker about whether I need to be listening to the Real Housewives or not.
And maybe someday we'll have Dorinda on.
Oh my God,
what are you
could you
doing
imagine?
here without Dorinda or Ramona? Oh my God.
This podcast is merely a vehicle for Kate to meet all of her favorite celebrities. And you know what? I'm happy to be here and serve as the support for that goal.
Maybe we can help cover BravoCon next year.
Oh
Who
my
knows?
God. We gotta work. We gotta get this up on YouTube. Stat.
Andy. Okay, we'll get it up. I'll get it up on YouTube after my next meeting.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Drink your water.
Bye.